So now we will be discussing solutions of exercise 2b. So the curve y is equal to, this is a cubic curve, touches x-axis at minus 2 comma 0. So it has repeated roots at minus 2 comma 0. So y is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus 5. So calculating y dash, 3ax square plus 2bx plus c. So since y dash minus 2 is equal to 0, this implies to LV minus 4b plus c is equal to 0. Also y minus 2 is equal to 0. This implies minus 8a plus 4b minus 2c plus 5 is equal to 0. And we have also been given that it cuts the y-axis at a point. So it cuts y-axis when x is equal to 0. So y dash 0 is equal to 3. So c is equal to 3. Hence we know the value of c. Substitute the value of c in these two equations, we can obtain the values of a and b. Moving on to next question, question number 2. Prove that the curves xy equal to 4 and x square plus y square equal to 8 touch each other. So these are two symmetric curves. One is a circle of radius 2 root 2 with point 2 comma 2 on its circumference. Okay. We can also see that this is a parabola. Okay. So clearly this circle is the auxiliary circle for this hyperbola, hence these two touch each other. Or alternatively we can substitute the value of x over here, and if we calculate y, we'd get a double root. Okay, moving to question number 3. Find all tangents to the curve this that are parallel to the line x plus 2y equal to 0. Okay, so here it goes, question number 3. So y is equal to cos of x plus y. So y dash equal to minus sin x plus y, 1 plus y dash. So calculating y dash, we get minus sin x plus y upon 1 plus sin x plus y. So this should be equal to minus half. So this implies sin x plus y is equal to 1. Okay, so if sin x plus y is equal to 1, then x plus y is equal to 4n plus 1 pi by 2. And since x is between minus 2 pi to 2 pi, y is equal to cos of 4n plus 1 pi by 2 is equal to 0. So x can be minus 3 pi by 2 or pi by 2. Okay, if we know x, we also know y, then we can obtain the value of then we can obtain the equation of the tangents. Moving on to the next question, question number 4. So find the equation of the normal to the parabola x square equal to 4y which passes through point 1 comma 2. Okay, so first we will calculate y dash. So y dash is equal to x by 2. Slope of normal would be minus 2 by x, and at x is equal to 1, slope of normal would be minus 2. At x is equal to minus 2, sorry, slope at x is equal to 1, the point is 1 comma 2, we know the slope of normal. Now we can write the equation as 2x plus y is equal to 1 comma 2 4. Moving on to the next question, question number 5. Tangents are drawn from the origin to the curves y is equal to sin x. Prove that the points of contact lie on x square y square is equal to x square minus y square. So see, y dash is equal to cos x. So tangent at y x1 y1 would be y minus y1 is equal to cos x minus x1. Okay, since the tangent are drawn from origin, then this will satisfy 0, then 0 comma 0 will satisfy this one. So y1 equal to cos of x1 into minus of x1, or cos of x1 equal to y1 by x1. Okay, so now we have obtained the value of cos x. Now sin square x plus cos square x, sin square x1 plus cos square x1 is equal to 1. Now sin square x1 is equal to y1 square plus cos square x1 will be y1 square upon x1 square equal to 1. This is the required locus, x square y square plus y square equal to x square. Okay, moving on to the next question, question number 6. What should be the value of n if the equation of the curve this so that the subnormal may be of constant length? So y is equal to a power 1 minus n x to the power n. So let's calculate y dash first. N a power 1 minus n x power n minus 1, and y dash is also equal to tan theta. We also know that length of subnormal is equal to y 1 into tan theta. So tan theta would be n a power 1 minus n x1 power n minus 1. Okay, put the value of y1, n a power 2 minus 2n into x power 2n minus 1. So this value is constant, so it should be, since it is independent of x1, then n is equal to half. Okay, now moving on to the next question, question number 7. See, x power m plus n is equal to a power m minus n y power 2n. Okay, so first differentiate this equation. M plus n x power m plus n minus 1 is equal to a power m minus n y power 2n minus 1 y dash. Okay, so see, subtangent to the power m okay, so this can be written as y by x using this equation. Put the value of a power m minus n over here. Okay, now st power m upon st power n is equal to y cot theta power m upon y tan theta power n tan theta power m plus n. Okay, now we have already calculated tan theta, which is y dash, y power m minus n upon tan theta to the power m plus n. Y power m plus n, x power m plus n, and 2n power m plus n. So this will be x power m plus n upon y power 2n and m plus n power m plus n, 2n power m plus n, and this again would be a power m minus n. A power n minus n to n power m plus n upon m plus n to the power m plus n. So since this is a constant, hence st power m varies as sn power n. Okay. Moving on to the next question, question number 8. Find the interval in which the function is increasing. So f dash has to be greater than 0. 4x cube minus 24x square plus 44x minus 24. This is greater than 0. So x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6 greater than 0. Now this can be easily solved using Wavey's curve. Moving on to the question number 9. Find the interval in which fx is equal to x minus 2 sin x is increasing in 0 to 2 pi. So first calculate f dash is equal to 1 minus 2 cos x. So this has to be greater than 0. So cos x has to be less than half. So cos x is less than half when theta, so cos x is less than half, so cos x can be negative as well. So cos x is negative in third and second quadrant, and between first quadrant cos x attains half value at pi by 3. So x can vary from pi by 3 to 5 pi by 3. Moving on to the next question, question number 10. Find the interval of monotonicity of the function. So fx is equal to 2x square minus ln mod x. So f dash x would be 4x minus 1 by x. Okay, taking LCM, 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1 upon x. So it is greater than 0, then it will be monotonically increasing. For less than 0, it will be monotonically decreasing. We can find out the intervals of x for its increasing and decreasing range by using Wavey's curve method. Moving on to the next question, question number 11. Obtain the interval of monotonicity of the function fx is equal to sin x plus cos x. Okay, so fx is equal to sin x plus cos x. F dash x would be cos x minus sin x. So if cos x is greater than sin x, the function would be monotonically increasing. That is in 0 to pi by 4 union 5 pi by 4 to 2 pi. So in this particular interval, cos x will be increasing, fx will be increasing, else the function will decrease. Moving on to the next question, question number 12. We've been given gx is equal to fx plus f of 1 minus x. Also f double dash is less than 0 for all x between 0 to 1. We need to show that gx increases in 0 to half and decreases in half to 1. Okay, so see, we can see that replacing x by 1 minus x, we can see that g of x is equal to g of 1 minus x. So graph of g is symmetric about x is equal to half. So if we prove one part that gx is increasing in 0 to half, so it will automatically prove that gx is decreasing in half to 1. Okay, so let's prove that. So see, gx, calculating g dash x is equal to f dash x minus f dash 1 minus x. And since f double dash is less than 0, this implies f dash is decreasing. Since f dash is decreasing, so f dash x is greater than f dash 1 minus x. So this will happen when x belongs to 0 to half. When x belongs to 0 to half, this will be less than this, and hence this will be greater than this. So in 0 to half, gx will increase, otherwise gx will decrease. Moving on to the next question, question number 13. So let fx is equal to x minus ln 1 plus x. Okay, we know that f of 0 equal to 0, f dash x is equal to 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus x is equal to x upon 1 plus x. Or we can say that we don't need to take LCM. Between 0 to 1, f dash is always positive. Between 0 to 1, f dash is always positive. Okay, and we need to prove the range of x is given 0. Okay, for all x greater than 0 we need to prove. Doesn't matter. So for all x greater than 0, this is always positive. So for all x greater than 0, since f dash is positive, so this is increasing, hence x minus ln 1 plus x is greater than 0. Okay, now moving on to the next question, question number 14. So we need to prove that ax square plus b by x is greater than or equal to c. Okay, so we can use AMGM for this. Ax square plus b by x, b by 2x plus b by 2x upon 3 is greater than or equal to cube root of a by 4 b square. Now this will be c. This is minimum value of c. Okay, so ax square plus b by x to the cube is greater than or equal to 27 upon 4 ab square. Okay, so if minimum value of ax square plus b by x is greater than c, that means 27 upon ab square is greater than c, then the equation given then the inequality given in the question would be true for all x belongs to R. This implies 27 ab square is greater than 4c cube. Okay, moving on to the next question, question number 15. So between x1 and between 0 to pi by 2, x1 and x2, we need to show that tan x2 upon tan x1 greater than x1 by x2. So, or in other words, we need to prove that x2 tan x2 greater than x1 tan x1. So first we'll assume a function, and let's assume a function x tan x. Okay, fx is equal to x tan x. We can see that f0 equal to 0 and f dash x is equal to tan x plus x square x sec square x. So f dash x is always greater than 0 when x belongs to 0 to pi by 2. So the function is increasing. So if function is increasing, then f of x2 is greater than f of x1, hence proved. Moving to next question, question number 16. We need to show that x minus x cube by 6 is less than sin x and is less than x for 0 to pi by 2. Okay, we already know that sin x is always less than equal to x for x ranging from 0 to pi by 2, since graph of sin x lies below graph of y is equal to x. We just need to prove that x minus x cube upon 6 is less than sin x. Okay, so we would need to assume a function, let's say fx is equal to sin x minus x plus x cube by 6, and then f dash x would be equal to cos x minus 1 f double dash x would be equal to x minus sin x, which is greater than 0 for all 0 to pi by 2. So since this is greater than 0, this implies f dash x is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0 and increases as x increase. Okay, so we reached to the conclusion that f dash x is also greater than 0. Okay, f dash is also greater than 0, but we know that f0 is also 0. Since f0 is 0, f dash is greater than 0, so f also increases. F is also an increasing function, so f is greater than 0 for all x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, hence proved. Moving to next question, question number 17. We need to determine the points of maxima and minima of the given function. Okay, starting with question number 17. Okay, we have given fx is equal to 1 by 8 ln x minus bx plus x square, and we need to determine the points of maxima and minima for this. So first calculate f dash x is equal to 2x minus b plus 1 by 8x is equal to 0. So 2x square minus bx plus 1 is equal to 0, and hence x is equal to b plus minus square root of b square minus 4 upon 4. So for this b has, if b is greater than 2. Okay, let's calculate f double dash x. This would be equal to 2 minus 1 by 8x. It is greater than 0 if x is equal to b plus, but this expression would become less than 0 if x is equal to b minus square root of b square minus 4 upon 4. So this would be the point of maxima, sorry, this would be the point of minima, and this would be the point of maxima. Moving on to the next question, question number 18. prove that the least intercept made on the tangents to the ellipse this by the axis is a plus b. Okay. So we know that the tangent, the equation of the tangent at theta to any ellipse can be written as x cos theta by a plus y sin theta by b is equal to 1, and its intercept will be a sec theta comma 0 and 0 comma b cosec theta. So length of intercept would be a square sec square theta plus b square cosec square theta is equal to a square plus b square plus a square tan square theta plus b square cot square theta. So using AMGM, we can find the minimum value of this as a plus 2ab. So this would become a square plus b square plus 2ab ka root, which would be a plus b. Okay, now moving on to the next question, question number 19. Show that the semi-vertical angle of a right circular cone of given total surface area and maximum volume is this. So we have already solved these types of questions. So let's first assume okay, let the radius of the cone be r and height be h. Okay. So of given total surface area, so total surface area, its total surface area would be pi r, let's assume alpha, it would be easier. Okay, so s would be equal to pi r, l would be equal to L sin alpha. Okay, L sin alpha into L. So this would be its lateral surface area plus pi L square sin square alpha. Okay, so pi L square sin alpha common 1 plus sin alpha. So this is given constant. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to maximize the volume. So volume would be 1 by 3 pi r square h, and h would be L cos alpha. Okay, so v square would be equal to 1 by 9 pi L power 6. So substitute L power 6 from over here, which would be s cube upon pi cube. Substitute value of we have squared this. Okay, upon sin cube alpha and 1 plus sin alpha ka cube is equal to lambda times sin alpha 1 minus sin alpha and 1 plus sin alpha ka whole square. So we need to maximize this and obtain the result. We can differentiate this with respect to alpha and find the value of alpha, which should come out to be sin inverse 1 by 3. Moving on to question number 20. So a box of minimum volume with top open is to be made out of a square tin sheet of sides 2 meter in length by cutting. So it's a square sheet. Okay, so let the length cut out as x. So the length and breadth of the box would be 2 minus 2x, and its volume would be x into 2 minus 2x का whole square. Okay, so what we need to do is that to maximize volume, dv by dx is equal to 0, 2 minus 2x whole square plus x minus 2 minus 4. So if this is 0, 2 minus 2x should be equal to 4x. This implies x is equal to 1 by 3. Find the height of the box. So height of the box would be 1 by 3. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 21. Show that the cone of greatest volume which can be inscribed in the given sphere has an altitude equal to 2/3 of the diameter of the sphere. Okay. So let the height of the cone be h. Okay, and radius of base of cone be small r. So this would be radius of sphere is capital R. So this would be h minus r. Hence r square would be equal to h minus r whole square plus r square. This implies 2rh is equal to h square plus r square. Okay, we know the volume of the cone is 1 by 3 pi r square h. Put the value of r square over here. 1 by 3 pi r square is 2r h 1 minus h square. Okay, so if we need to find out the greatest volume for this, so dv by dh should be equal to 0. If dv by dh is equal to 0, this implies h is equal to 0 or 4r by 3. H cannot be equal to 0, and hence h is equal to 4r by 3. Question number 22. A tree trunk 1 meter long is in the shape of a frustum of a cone, the radii of its ends being A and B. Okay. So here's the frustum of the cone. This is B, this is A, and let the height be L. Okay, the radii of its ends being A and B, it is required to cut from it a beam of uniform square section. Okay, so this is the square section with height h. Okay, so this height is h. So okay, so let's assume this as x and assume height of this particular cone as h. So this triangle is similar to this triangle, and hence b by h will be equal to a upon l plus h. Okay, which in turn would be equal to h plus l minus x, where s is side of square. So if s is side of square, this would be root 2s, half of which would be s by root 2. So s by root 2 upon, this would be s by root 2 upon h plus l whole minus x. Okay, now see, s is equal to root 2b, h plus l minus x upon h, and v is equal to 2b square h plus l minus x whole square upon h square into x. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to dv by dx is equal to 0 and calculate x. Okay, moving on to the next question, question number 23. Okay, so the total cost of making n pocket radii sets per day is this, and the rate at which they may be sold to a distributor is this, for a maximum total profit. Daily output should be. Okay, so profit is its selling price minus its cost price. So selling price is n by 2, 100 minus n, minus its cost price is n square by 4 plus 35n plus 25. So simplifying this, we get minus 3n square by 4 plus 15n minus 25. So this is a downward opening parabola which gives its maximum value at n is equal to minus b by 2a. So 2 into minus 3 by 4, which would be equal to 10. Okay. Moving on to the next question, question number 24. A telephone company of a small town has 500 subscribers, from each of which the company charges 300 per annum. The company decides upon a surcharge on annual subscription, knowing fully well that every increase of 1 rupee will force one subscriber to drop out. So if the company will have the maximum revenue if the surcharge is okay. So let the revenue is increased by 1 rupee. Sorry, the surcharge is increased by 1 rupee, x rupees. So revenue would be 500 minus x into 300 plus x. So of course, this is again a downward opening parabola which would attain its minimum value at midpoint of its roots, which is 500 and 300 by 2 at 400. Okay, so at 400, so x has to be equal to 100. Moving on to the next question, question number 25. So fx is equal to 2x plus 1 ka mod minus 2 of mod of x minus 1 minus 3. Okay, we need to find the range of the function, this. So let's draw the graph first. When x is less than minus half, x less than minus half. So if x is less than minus half, this would open as negative, this would open as negative. So minus 2x minus 1 plus 2x minus 2 minus 3 is equal to minus 5. Okay, sorry, this would be, yeah, that's correct. So this would be minus 6. And when x is between minus half to 1, this would open negative and this would open positive. So 2x plus 1 plus 2x minus 2 minus 3 is equal to 4x minus 4. And when x is greater than 1, both of the brackets are going to be opened positive, 2x plus 1 minus 2x plus 2 minus 3. Okay, So this would lead to value equal to 0. Okay, so let's do the graph. X is equal to minus half, p value is minus 6, and then a line of slope equal to 4, and at x is equal to 1, p value is 0. So range of the function will be 0 to 6, minus 6 to 0. Closed interval. Moving on to the next question, question number 26. Divide 20 into two parts such that the product of the cube of the one and the square of the other shall be the maximum. Okay, so 26. So let the two parts be x and 20 minus x. So what we need to maximize is product of cube of one and square of other. This is our function which we need to maximize. So let's calculate f dash is equal to 3x square 20 minus x whole square plus x cube 20 minus x minus 1. This should be equal. This implies so 60 minus 3x is equal to 2x. So x has to be equal to 12. Or we could have done it directly using AMGM. If the powers are in the ratio 3:2, then 20 has to be divided into 3:2. Okay, moving to question number 27. So question number 27 says is if fx and gx are continuous functions in a and b. Okay, and they are differentiable in a and b, then prove that. Then we need to prove that determinant of fa, fb, ga, gb, this is equal to this. Okay, so we need to prove that fa into gb is minus fb into ga is equal to b minus a into fa g dash c minus f dash c ga. Okay, so let's first assume that there is a function hx which is fx into gx. So h dash x is equal to f dash x gx minus plus g dash x fx. Okay, now we can apply Rolle's theorem on hx to get the desired result. Moving on to question number 29. So it says fx is equal to x into x plus 3 e power minus x by 2. Okay, so we need to verify Rolle's theorem for this. So let's see. F of 0 equal to 0, f of minus 3 is equal to 0. Now let's calculate f dash x. F dash x is equal to 2x plus 3 e power minus x by 2 minus half x plus 3 e power minus x by 2. Okay, and this is equal to 0 at x is equal to c. This implies 2x plus 3 is equal to minus x is equal to x by 2 into x plus 3. 4x plus 6 is equal to x square plus 3x. Okay, so x square minus x minus 6 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 2 comma 3. So minus 2 is the value of x which belongs to the interval minus 3 comma 0, and hence the Rolle's theorem is verified. Moving to question number 30, it says find the value of c for the mean value theorem for fx is equal to x, x minus 1, x minus 2 if a is equal to 0 and b is equal to half. So let's calculate the value of f0 first. So f0 is equal to 0 and f of half is equal to half into minus half into minus 3 by 2 is equal to 3 by 8. So f dash x equal to x minus 1, x minus 2 plus x, x minus 2 plus x, x minus 1 is equal to 3x square minus 6x plus 2. Okay, so this should be equal to f dash c. So 3c square minus 6c plus 2 should be equal to f of half, sorry, so this should be equal to f of f dash c, which in turn according to mean value theorem should be equal to f of half minus f of 0 upon half minus 0, 12c square minus 24c plus 5 is equal to 0. This implies c is equal to 6 minus root 21 by 6. Okay, so c over here is less than half. Okay.